Hi, my name is Drummond, and I'm a co-founder and CTO of Respect Network. And this is a subject which I'm extraordinarily passionate about. So if my voice, if I break the microphone, you'll know why. I'm actually going to start by talking about social networks. I don't think I need to tell anybody in this room how they've revolutionized how we form relationships and share data online, whether it's with friends or followers or contacts or circles. I think one of the most amazing things about social networks is just how large they have grown. This slide from eMarketer shows that we're just passing 1.75 billion people on this planet that are using social networks today, and we're headed towards the end of this decade to half of humanity being connected by social networks. The amazing thing from a privacy perspective is all of these are based on a centralized model where all of the data is going into one giant database under the terms from one company has access to all the data. I find that just absolutely unbelievable. I think we can all agree this is never going to work when it comes to sensitive private data that we need to share, people and businesses, to manage our lives. Health data, finance, energy information, insurance, we could go on and on. It's simply not all going to go into one giant database. It'd be like all of us using one bank. We believe the solution is a new kind of network, a network based on a concept of a personal cloud. We're not talking Dropbox or Google Drive here. We're talking about a place where you own and control the data on the cloud. You can host it yourself or you can host it in a commercial service provider, but there's no ambiguity about who controls the data. Now, with this kind of a cloud, you can form your own connections with other clouds, personal clouds or business clouds. And those connections can do both secure data sharing and secure messaging with just whom you want. Surprise, this forms a peer-to-peer network. Any personal cloud, any business cloud can connect. The whole thing we call a personal cloud network, there's no one in the middle. There's no one who has access to all the data. So you have to ask, why might the rise of personal cloud networks actually lead to a sea change in internet privacy? Why are we potentially at the biggest inflection point in privacy in the history of the internet? I believe the name is it's wonderfully captured by the name of one of our founding partners. Control Shift is a consultancy in the UK. They're the strategic advisors of the UK My Data Project, which is the project in the UK about companies giving data back to their customers. They define the control shift this way. Shift in information is a tool for the individual or for the organization of the individual. What does this look like? Today we have people with a small amount of computing power and a small amount of data sharing it with companies that have all the computing power, the clouds, the servers, and the ability to share that information. It's very unbalanced. After the control shift, it looks like this. People have clouds, businesses have clouds. We now have an equality of being able to, people are able to aggregate and share their data the same way businesses can. You have peer-to-peer sharing. You have a balance of power. Now let's look at it from a policy perspective. Today, privacy is defined on the internet by privacy policies. They're entirely a tool of organizations. They're contracts of adhesion. They're take it or leave it. And I mean, who has even the time to read the privacy policies, let alone understand them? The tool after the control shift is called a trust framework. It's not a contract of adhesion at all. It's a new kind of contract that all the members of a network enter into to agree as to how they're going to share data and do it safely among themselves. Trust frameworks are not brand new tools. I was the original executive director of the Open Identity Exchange, where all of these trust frameworks are born or being worked on. They started with government, they moved into industry, and now we have the first ones that are user-centric. One of them, or the Respect Trust Framework, takes its name from the seventh principle of privacy by design, respect for users. What would it mean if we had a trust framework where we all agreed what are the universal principles for respecting users' data? It turns out you can put it in one sentence. It's a promise of permission, protection, portability, and proof. We published one in 2011 and won the Privacy Award at the European Identity Conference. Since then, 31 companies from around the world have come together to build the world's first personal cloud network. We think we're close enough that we'll be able to launch this next spring. Now, you might sit here and look at me and say, oh, that guy's a complete dreamer. But I'm not the only one. I urge you to go see this movie if you haven't seen it. It's called The Butler. It's about a gentleman who got a job in the White House and served under 8 presidents, from Eisenhower to Reagan. Imagine him dreaming that one day there might be a black man in the White House. So I submit to you that if we can put 1 billion people on Facebook, we can put that many people on a personal cloud network and change the future of internet privacy. Thank you.